Hello, Stage Centre. Well, as promised, we have some more fabulous behind-the-scenes interviews leading up to Catherine and Friends on Friday night, the digital show that's coming to us all, in fact, anyone around the world, this Friday night, the 16th. Courtesy of the Melbourne Digital Concert Hall, which, what a fabulous initiative. And today, as you can probably see and most likely recognise, I'm really excited to have Jason Arrow here in the virtual offices of Stage Centre. Hi, Jason. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, really, really well. Thank you for virtually hanging out with me for a little while today.
No, that's all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, most people will know of you through, more recently, Hamilton, because you are Alexander Hamilton, I believe.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
Was and not at the very moment, but yeah, was and will be.
Let's keep saying is, Jason, because you are going to return to that role very soon.
Yes.
We're all keeping our fingers crossed.
Very soon.
Yeah, very soon. But you've also been in other shows. Tell us about what other shows you've been in.
Yeah, so just before Hamilton started, I finished a contract on Aladdin. So I was in the last sort of leg of Aladdin where they started to do the international circuit. And then before that, my first show was with Michael Castle Group again, doing Beautiful. Yeah, so they gave me my first show and my first lead, so that's very nice of them.
Thank you, Michael Castle. You've done very well.
Yes, thank you.
I concur with those decisions. So you have done quite a few things. And before we talk a little bit more about Catherine and Friends, can you share with people, what's it been like for you? Suddenly, you're in this role of your dreams, performing away at the beautiful Lyric Theatre, where you will return soon, we hope. And then
very soon.
All of a sudden, a lockdown.
Yeah, look, it was kind of strange because I had experienced lockdown last year because I was living in Melbourne. So I experienced the whole gamut of lockdown that Melbourne had before coming here.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like that was behind me. I think everyone kind of felt like that was behind them.
Yeah.
Especially people from Melbourne. I think that was kind of like, okay, we've done our bit. It's done now. And so when I got here, I was sort of, liberated in, that sort of freedom and being like, okay, great. Sydney's one of those states that's got it under control. They don't do lockdowns. I felt like it was behind me. So now that this sort of happened again, my spidey senses started tingling. I sort of, when the cases started rising, that voice in the back of my head was going, oh, it's feeling like Melbourne 2020 at the moment. Like it's sort of started to go up a bit more, and the same things were happening. Like it wasn't initially treated that seriously, and then it just got out of control, which is kind of what happened last year in Melbourne, as everyone knows. But so to have that sort of stop, it is heartbreaking, but at the same time, I mean, what can I do? There's nothing I can do, so I just have to go with it, and that's kind of the best way that I can see getting through these kinds of things when work just gets completely ripped away from you, as happens a lot in the arts industry at the moment. The best thing you can do is just go with it. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here being upset every day. And of course, there's days that does happen. But I mean, they're few and far between, and most of the time it's just, okay, well, I just have to go with it.
Yeah. And fortunately, this opportunity, for example, in the online space, has come up, which is great. Tell us a little bit about what people might be seeing this Friday night when you book your tickets. When you book your tickets, especially Sydney people who are stuck at home, bless you, you can buy a ticket to Catherine and Friends. We'll have all the details at the end of this video and posts to show you where to do that. But tell us about what's going to happen in that 75 minutes on Friday night.
Well, I believe everyone has a sort of performance that they've concocted during lockdown, or even if they've had to, pull stuff from before and, revisiting things. For me, I'm singing something I haven't ever sung before, purely because, trying to pass the time, got to learn something new, right? So yeah, I sort of just making charts for this new song that I'm singing. I don't want to give it away though.
No, don't give it away.
It's a really, really cool song,
anything.
so I really don't want to give it away.
No, spoilers.
Yeah, but I believe it's quite the variety night. There's a bit of comedy, a bit of singing, a bit of cabaret sort of thing. It's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be really, really great.
Yeah, well, the lineup there, you've got Catherine Alcorn, Barushka Darling, one of our beautiful favourites. You just can't get through with those two not having comedy. That'll be hilarious. And then we've got Iota, beautiful Jackie Dale, like yourself. So it's a really great diverse selection of talent and genres and things. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to be logging in, that's for sure.
It should be a good night.
Yeah, it will be a good night. And the funds from this, so that everybody knows, is actually going directly to the artists who are performing. There's a little bit off the top that just covers the streaming costs, which of course needs to happen. But most of your ticket price really goes directly to Jason and the other performers, which certainly makes me feel happy, because we all feel for you not having your regular income. So we'll all look forward to that. I'm sure that people watching this would also love to hear a little bit more about you, Jason. So you were, I believe, born in South Africa?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you make your way to Australia?
So my parents moved from South Africa with me and my sister when I was around about 6 years old.
Yeah.
So I was very young. So I did grow up in Australia for the latter portion of my life, for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Mainly, my parents left mainly to get away from apartheid, because it was sort of phasing out at that point, but it hadn't fully shifted just yet.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good decision for them, because of just the way that everything was running and how it was getting in the way of, like, my father wanted to do what he wanted to do, and my mum, and I just feel like my mother had family here already, so they were getting sponsored by my mother's family here, and that helped bring them over. And I mean, I probably wouldn't be doing this as a job if they hadn't done that.
Yeah.
So I have them to thank.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Mum and Dad, because now we can be very grateful that you came here and brought us Jason.
So I've lived in Perth for most of my life.
Yeah.
I did a lot of, I went to school there, in Rockingham anyway, in Perth.
Yeah.
I went to school there. I did amateur theatre around in Perth, because there's a lot of amateur theatre in Perth.
Yeah.
And I did that for years. So long. And then through, doing that, people were like, oh, you should, audition for WAAPA. And I had no idea what that was, because my family, as much as they love music and the arts and movies and things like that, it's not really a practice profession in South Africa. So it's not, I mean, my parents are very supportive of me going down that avenue, but it's not the norm, I should say.
Wow.
So I didn't know what WAAPA was. I didn't even know what musicals were until all I knew was Grease, which you've got in the background there. All I really knew was Grease. And then I was like, oh, there's a whole genre on stage that does this. And so through school and after school, I started doing community theatre and amateur theatre, and then I auditioned for WAAPA, did the certificate there, which is now a diploma. And then then the rest is history. Once I knew I had to audition for The Bachelor.
There we go. And I love that you mentioned community theatre, Jason, because we at Stage Centre are great advocates of community theatre. We're involved in community theatre ourselves on a practical level. We produce a show each year through another theatre company, and very involved in the local community theatre scene here in Canberra. And we know that so much is nurtured through community theatre, and you are a beautiful example of that, and of the value of community theatre, and just an entree into that world of theatre, and all the joy and the blessings that come from that, and the skills and the things that you learn along the way.
And you get a more holistic idea of what theatre is, which is great. All the way from, you can do anything from direction to lighting to sound. I did all that stuff before I just for the sake of it, because I was like, why not?
And so I'm sure that in your professional career, that extra knowledge of those other aspects of theatre production come in very handy, and it gives you a more holistic experience when you are performing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much that, you know, you can do when it comes to, like, if your mic goes down or anything like that, but it does help you feel a bit more calm. You feel a bit more calm when things do go wrong.
Yes.
For example, you know, it's easier to find your light when you know how the light is operating. So you know where the light is coming from.
Yeah.
Like little things like that. And it gives you a respect for, you know, the crew and everything that they do and all the hard work they put into stuff. So it really helps you get a good idea of everything from backstage to front of house to on stage. And I think that's what's really important about community theatre.
Yeah. And live performances, as people will see on Friday night, because it's a live streamed event. I think that the beauty of live performances in any genre is that it's happening right there. And so kudos to performers who, you know, don't get to do a second or a third or a fourth take. I mean, it's right there. If a mic goes out or if something happens or a cue is missed, you've just got to deal with it and go with the flow. So it's very challenging. So I'm sure that, you know, we can look forward to some beautiful impromptu things this Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully no mics go out, but yes, absolutely.
Sorry, what was that? We just lost the connection there. What was that?
Oh, sorry, I was just saying, yeah, hopefully no mics go out, but yeah, absolutely. Impromptu acting and things like that.
Yeah. And just that live experience. And I think even when it's streamed live, it's a different feeling watching it than if it's a recorded. So for those people who haven't seen a streamed live performance, don't think it's the same as sitting down watching a movie or something, because it's not, because you are aware that it is happening in real time. So you do feel, and through COVID, I was you know, blessed to sit through a number of live stream things, and I really did have a different sense. I did feel like I was more present in the venue than if I was just watching a movie. So it is quite different, people, and it's a lovely experience to know that while you're sitting in your lounge room or wherever you are, these beautiful performers are in real time presenting their talents and their work to you. So I highly encourage people to, if you haven't, to enjoy that kind of experience, because it is a new thing over the last 12, 18 months, but it's a terrific thing to be involved in. Look, thank you very much, Jason. I'm really chuffed to meet you and to be able to talk about, you know, where you've come from, what you're up to. Definitely look forward to seeing you in Hamilton. We'll be up there in a flash as soon as we're allowed, and everybody's well and safe. And we all understand that this is important. We all need to stay safe, and we all want to stay well, and everybody's doing their bit to ensure that happens. But we do miss being able to see you in the theatre, but thankfully we can get a little glimpse of you on Friday night, and your fabulous co-performers. We know it'll be a great night. So yeah, anything else that you wanted to share before we log off?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. It's nice to firstly do something different, but also you know, just talk about art and you know, everything that goes with it, and how much it should continue to be valued. So it really helps highlight that. So thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. And it certainly is. That theatre and the arts are an incredible value to society. And I think I hope people are starting to appreciate that more. They say, you know, we don't appreciate things until they've gone. So I hope people really are starting to realise just the place of theatre and performance in their lives. So people, if you want details as to how to book for Catherine and Friends this Friday night, please check out the links at the end of this post. Follow us on Stage Centre Instagram and Facebook. You'll have details on the Stage Centre app, which you can download for free, about the show. And also, because Jason's a registered actor on Stage Centre now, you can request to follow him, so that when he is appearing in a show next, you'll get a little message to say where Jason is popping up next. So yeah, so do that, because we don't want to miss any of your performances. Thanks, Jason. All the very best.
Thank you so much.
We'll be logging on and cheering from the lounge room. So have a great night.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, darling.